Yo, what's good my fellow Magic Knights? It is your boy DEADMANVINCE back with another Black Clover mobile video. Today we are going to be doing something a little different. This one's actually going to be my first podcast, and honestly the only Black Clover mobile podcast on the internet. Clover Kingdom Chronicles we call it. Yeah. So I have a list of, just different topics on a notepad, and I've never done a podcast before, so definitely be brutal with me in the comments and let me know where I can improve. But yeah, I got a bunch of stuff written down on a notepad. Not a bunch of stuff, just a bunch of different topics. And I just want to kind of go and talk about each one of those topics and give my opinions on them. What I think they'll do for the game, and or maybe, how much I don't like them or how much I do like it, right? But if you guys have been enjoying the content lately, you can definitely go down below and you can smack that like button. And you can also hit that subscribe bell because you can get tapped in with the Dead Man, and then you can know whenever I drop some content. Guild Wars. Guild Wars is something I want to talk about first and foremost because I have a guild right here and I still need 6 members to join my guild here so that we can start to stack up quite a bit more guild points in the week and get these buffs that we need, because right now we have no buffs, and my guild members are very loyal. They stay into the guild. They stay in the guild even when we can't do Guild Wars, but I really appreciate them for that. And it's crazy that we've missed 2 Guild Wars at this point, because I said that we would miss only 1, but hey, I'm working on it, and if you guys are watching this video, then come join the Void Dynasty. You can see all my information right here. You guys can't pretend you didn't see this information. You can also join my Discord, and my Discord is linked down below every single one of my YouTube videos, literally. Scroll down, click the link, join the Discord, get in touch with me, join my guild. I have a little guild chat as well, so we can talk to each other outside of the game. But we're not here for an advertisement, even though that's what that all was. This is talking about Guild Wars. So Guild Wars, the requirements to get into Guild Wars isn't that bad. You have to be a level 1 guild, you have to have 10 members in your knighthood at least, or guild, and then you have to have contributed 10,000 points the prior week. And basically Guild Wars, I just want to say kudos to Vic Gaming really, and just talk about, Guild Wars is a game mode, or not a game mode, but like a content in this game that makes so much sense. It's like Black Clover is a series that is highly dependent on how hard you grind to get to the level that you need to be at, and Guild Wars kind of makes you, forces you to do that grind. I remember my first Guild Wars, I was actually in Blade's guild actually, but then I left the guild eventually because a lot of people were quitting or just being inactive, or not a lot of people but a few people, and it was just like I wanted more people to be active because some people weren't logging in for daily rewards at a certain point, and it was just like, well, damn. And that's the problem with my guild right now. If you're in my guild and you're watching this, please log in and check in with the guild every day. It literally gets you free stuff. Please check in. But Guild Wars is literally just you playing the game, and all these are different categories of different things that you can do to get points whenever Guild Wars is going on. You can see all these are double, right? And basically the gist of it is Guild Wars, I'm not even gonna say forces you, but Guild Wars just gets you to play the game more thoughtfully. You kind of look at these little rewards that you get right here, and you think, what can I do to get the most points as efficiently as possible? And then maybe it's something that's a little more expensive, right? So let's say maybe doing PvP will get you some guild points, and you run out of PvP tokens after 10 matches, right? Then it's all of a sudden you're like, damn, I want to keep stacking more points, and that was a very big way to get points, because I don't remember what gets what points exactly, but literally you stack that to get those points, and then you're done doing that, and you're just like, well, okay, now what can I do for some points, right? So it just kind of gets you on the mindset, the Magic Knight mindset actually makes you want to grind the game out, and I just think that they executed that very beautifully. It's do what you are already doing, but go a little harder doing it, and we will bless you. Because the points that you get from Guild Wars accumulate to this right here, and each person hits a little milestone, and this is individual rewards. So every person who contributes at least this many points, and this is an incentive for everybody to on their own be working on Guild Wars, right? Everybody who gets their own points, when the points accumulate enough, they get all these rewards right here. When the guild, I'm sorry. This is when the guild accumulates points. This one right here is when you accumulate points as an individual, and literally they were very smart about the rewards that they give you. These right here are just going to be the rewards that you get for playing, basically, and to keep playing, they're going to give you more stamina. So then you're playing the game a bunch and grinding out characters and getting a lot of good stuff done for your account, just for them to turn around and give you more stamina and allow you to do even more so. And guys, before we get all the way deep into this podcast, this isn't me selling you on Black Clover. You know, this is just me talking about things in the game and just talking about what I see from the game and just talking about the state of the game right now. And if it sounds like I'm like trying to like advertise to you, just know that I'm not trying to advertise to you. But if it sounds kind of like an advertisement to you, doesn't that mean it sounds good enough for you to try? Think about it. Think about it. The global version of the game is going to be coming out November 30th, and I will be actually talking about that a little bit later in this podcast. But back to the topic of Guild Wars. This right here you can't look at. This is you stacked up against other guilds, and then this right here is just like your guild ranking in general. And I literally have not been able to do Guild Wars, so I can't even be considered in this. Like, my guild's not considered in this, and that's very painful. I would love to actually be able to be stacked up against other guilds and see how we compare and work my way up the leaderboards, work our way up the leaderboards. So definitely, guys, if you are not in a guild or if your guild is inactive, come and join the Void Dynasty. We grind. We are level 2. We got to level 2 when we only had 6 members. I say that every time, but that just kind of goes to show you, like, there's some of us who are very serious. The other people in the guild, they definitely grind too. Just maybe not as hard as we do. But, you know, 6 more people sign in. I just need at least half of you to check in every day, man. Like, once we get to a full number, I need like half of you to check in, just because we need 7 check-ins to get the good rewards. And the more levels we go up in the guild, the more members we can add. And literally, you're always going to have at least half the max number of people checking in. So keep that in mind. But the Void Dynasty is open for business. We are ready to run it up and get all of the rewards, because we are the mightiest Magic Knights. Now, the next topic that I want to talk about is PvP. So, PvP is interesting. A lot of people hated on PvP at first because they were like, "Man, I want this to be not bots. I want this to be live PvP." And honestly, at first, people weren't shitting on it too much because they saw the rewards you get from PvP. And then, you know, they got high up ranks in PvP, and they're just like, "Oh, okay, I'm kind of bored with this. Now I want to actually fight other people." And to be real with you, my whole opinion on PvP is, PvP, I think, doesn't destroy the longevity of a gacha game, but PvP definitely feeds the gap between free-to-play and sweaty players. And honestly, you know, like, Grand Cross style is one of the things that felt like a drag. But Grand Cross is different because, like, basically all the in-game content is like PvP in some way, shape, or form. But, you know, Black Clover Mobile, I feel like they're doing a decent job with PvP, right? It's like bots, and, you know, you still lose to an enemy team or you beat an enemy team, but it's like you never directly play the player, so it's like you can't really be too upset because you can see who you're fighting beforehand. So, like, if you walk into a fight where the enemy is stronger than you, something I do a lot, you walk into a fight where the enemy is stronger than you and you lose, you know, you can't really be too upset. You walked into it. And the same thing, like, if you go against a team that is maybe weaker than you with combat power, right, and they have this certain team comp, you know, maybe you'll be a little salty about it, but those situations are golden opportunities for you to rethink the way that you build teams. And I know it's funny that I say that. You guys have seen me stream time in, time out, and you see me do videos, and you've seen my PvP team. My PvP team has been the same for a very long time. It's literally Real, Kyoto, Season 2 Noel, and Voltos. But you know, that's just the team that I'm most comfortable with. And plus, like, I'm not at a point where all of my mages are geared up properly to want to just switch them around in PvP. And, like, I like to use 5-star in PvP as well. So I'm not very limited in the 5-star department, but, like, 5-star fully worked on, that's when I'm kind of like, I don't know, right? So PvP, they're not doing a bad job with it. It's going to improve over time. They actually did add in real-time PvP as well. And the real-time PvP is right now only in between, like, friends or, like, guild members or whatever, right? You can only challenge specific people one at a time, but there is no real-time PvP in this game yet, like, ranked. And when that becomes a thing, because they said they're working on it, they said they're working on making the implementation of that. When they do work on that, then, you know, that'll just be kind of like a different era in the game in its own right, because, you know, there's already, like, metas and everything in PvP. Even though PvP, I mean, I don't know if I would say there's metas, because I've done plenty of PvP matches, and, you know, I see all kinds of crazy teams, and, you know, all kinds of crazy, like, wonky compositions either lose or win to me. You know what I'm saying? It all just depends on how the match goes. And sometimes a team maybe isn't the best, but you just make a bad decision while in the match, and, you know, that really can cost you the match. But all around, PvP, it feels good in this game, because I see so many teams I come across, and, like, sometimes I lose to those teams for being, like, having shitty gear. Sometimes I went against those teams because they had better gear, but I just was outsmarting the bots, right? And honestly, there is no, like, people will say there's a meta. I feel like there is no real meta. I feel like the game is absolutely, like, definitely flooded with blue mages. Like, when you say mono teams, there's a couple blue mages I can think of off top that I would just put on a team together. When you say, like, mono for red, like, there's a few mages I think about, but I'm a little hesitant of putting them together and expecting them to perform to the capacity that I want them to. And then green mages, I don't like the thought of doing like mono green teams. I mean, they just dropped this Charlotte, so Charlotte does kind of change that. But even still, blue is just a color in the game that is flooded, inundated, and I think it was Libe talking to my chat the other day when I was streaming. He was saying, what if they eventually add another color in? He was saying, well, like with the Black Asta, they add a dark color in. I'm just like, yeah, honestly, I would. Okay, here's my thought on that. I don't think that adding another color into the game early would be bad. When they added extra colors into Grand Cross, you know, it felt kind of whatever, you know, because it's just like, they added those new colors. They added dark, and then they added light. And the course of the game is so deep into what it is now. It's just like every other character they drop isn't just going to be dark or light. It's going to be like, there's still going to be red, blue, and greens. The game is going to be majority red, blue, and green for a very, very, very long time. And I don't even know if Grand Cross is going to go on long enough. I mean, Four Knights of Apocalypse is actually pretty good, and they seem to want to switch it over from Grand Cross to Four Knights of Apocalypse, and I think the story is doing great right now. I personally read that. Honestly, it's going to take a very, very long time for them to get the same amount of dark and light characters, not even the same amount, but like same kind of like similar ratio of light and dark characters to like, or to the same ratio of light characters and dark characters versus like red, blue, or green, right? So I don't think it would necessarily be such a bad thing for Black Clover to automatically implement another color like this early into the game. I could honestly see them doing like a Dark Asta and making him darkness, and then doing like a Spirit Dive, you know, and making him like light or something like that. Or even when, I mean, we already have Licked and he's literally not light. So it's just weird what they're gonna do with extra colors. But I feel like we're definitely gonna get extra colors. Like every gacha game you look at has like at least like 5 colors or something like that. Some of them go above and beyond past that, and Grand Cross was not one of those games, but now it is, and now this can be like the next one up. And another point that I want to make is that Vic Gaming, the lead development team they used to be the lead development team for Netmarble, or some members of it, right? They used to be the lead development team for Netmarble on Grand Cross, and they could be trying to implement things that they did in Grand Cross, but a lot earlier for Black Clover Mobile, because that is kind of how you push the envelope. You take already like well-received practices and you implement them earlier on into your next project, and then you just like think of bigger, better ways to amplify that. So then when you go to the next project, you can evolve that even further, and so on and so on and so on. That is just how it works. The supply and demand, right? So supply grows. People want more from their games. Then, you know, if there's a demand for it, they will. Or no, I'm sorry. The demand grows for more and more features in the game, and you know they will supply those features. They will supply that demand. And also, another really good thing that they're doing with PvP here is they have Event Arena as well. Event Arena, I don't really take too seriously because the rewards in the shop are kind of like whatever. Like, I literally, the rewards in the shop, I've already gotten all the good ones. I got the free costume, I got the stamina, I got the ingredients, right? I got the frame, you know, and these are good. But I already have like 42 of them, and I have like 500 something of a dish, even better than those for farming gear. And I have like 500 something of a dish that's a little worse than those for farming gear. So it's like, I have a lot of dishes for it, and you know, oh, well, let's do this real quick. Cool, so now we have the dishes as well too, but also gold right here is kind of whatever. I'm not really too pressed to get it. I can get one of them real quick. And it's just like this kind of like determines like the rewards that are on the other side of something right now for me is what determines whether I do it or not, which sometimes can be a bad thing, which means that some game modes aren't really like that insane. They're more so just kind of like, I'm doing this for the reward, I'm doing it because I have to, right? And that's how Event Arena feels to me right now a little bit, but that's just how Arena feels to me in general. But that's just because in my grinding process I have not built my characters out to perform in PvP. I've built my characters. I built characters that are good at farming. I build those characters and I farm non-stop so that I can get all of my mages to a maximum point, because when the first anniversary of the game comes, not the half anniversary, but the first anniversary of the game comes, I am trying to be at a certain point with my account. I'm trying to be at a certain level with my sweatiness, if you will. So PvP is good. But it's definitely something that can be better and will be better at a certain point. The next point that I wanted to bring up is the half anniversary. So I'm actually going to switch out of the game and go ahead and pull up the forum. Yeah, the forum. Alright guys, so this is kind of like a little bit about the anniversary, and this is like stuff that's already been out for a little bit, but I just kind of want to go back and retouch on some of these things and just kind of speculate a little further as to what we could see with the half anniversary. But this is just kind of like, this is like a vote right here, and this is the voting form right here. I've already done it myself, but you can click on that. It'll take you to a link where you can choose 5 out of these 21, I think they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 3 minus 1. So no, it's 20. Yes, so they're going to let you pick a mage out of these 20 mages, and the top 10 they're going to let you pick 5 mages out of these 20, I'm sorry. And the 5 mages are pretty much going to be the mages that you want to summon for the most. You can see they have all of the original 10 mages, and then they have, I think, all of the general release mages, right? Except for and all the general release mages all the way up until and Langris, I believe, because right before and Langris was Guelder and Third Eye Veto, correct? So they have all those characters available to you to pick, and when you pick those 5, they're gonna get they're gonna calculate all the results. They're going to get the top 10, and then we're going to get a banner that has these top 10 on it, and this is something similar to how Grand Cross was doing its banners, right, on the anniversaries. So I'm very glad to see this being implemented like already right now. I'm pretty sure it got implemented in the first year for Grand Cross, but the thing about Grand Cross is I don't remember Grand Cross having a half-year anniversary on the first year. I feel like they had the first anniversary and then they started doing the half-year anniversary. Unless I'm wrong, unless I just like wasn't paying attention at that part, right? But or was the one Escanor the half anniversary? I don't even remember. But either way, whether Grand Cross had it or not, I love to see that we're already getting a half anniversary 6 months in. I was glad to see we got that 100-day celebration. Like games that give, that's what I've noticed about gacha games. One of the things that eases the pain of having to grind for black crystals all the time, or dragon stones, or diamonds, whatever game you're playing, is the fact that there's always kind of like a little campaign going on. There's always like a little celebration that they have like nestled in between some other things too. So the celebrations are a big way to get those extra rewards and everything, and get those extra summon currencies and extra materials to work on your characters and so on and so on. And we're already getting things like this 6 months into the game, a banner where we pick our top 10 characters and then we can summon for these characters. And honestly, I imagine they're going to be doing this for the first anniversary. Maybe they let us pick more characters. Then they're also going to be letting us do this, for every half anniversary and anniversary, like going on from this point forth. But yes, just really good to see stuff like this implemented. Plus, some of these characters are really good pickups. And also, not only is it this right here that I'm interested in, but also, if we come right here, you can redraw up to 999 times, half anniversary, commemorative, popular top 10 vote gacha gift preview. So, I picked 5 mages that I did not have 5-star. And honestly, I've already 5-starred this man, Raddies. So, did I pick Raddies? I think I picked Raya, Veto. No, I picked Raya, both of the Vetos, Guelder, and who else? Let me look. Guelder, Veto, other Veto, Raya, Licht is maxed out, Hyato's maxed out. Yeah, I think the last person I might have picked was Raddies because he wasn't there quite yet, but then I ended up getting him there beforehand. So I summoned on that banner. I think I might have summoned on the banner where you can pick a mage and then you summon for the mage, and if you get the mage, then it is what it is, right? I might have done that banner for a few times. That's probably what it is. But yes, you can actually reroll 999 times on this banner right here. And this banner is different from the original banner at the beginning of the game, not only because you can reroll 999 and not not 20 times, right? Because when the game first dropped, we had a reroll banner that you only do 20 times. Then we got to the Julius drop, and we got a banner that we could redo 999 times. The only problem with those banners were you could summon one SSR mage, and then you had a chance to summon other SSR skill pages, but that was it. So now they're giving us an opportunity to re-roll 999 times, and not only that, it is a gacha that functions like a regular gacha now. Right here, it says right here, in the Brecromo SSR Mage popularity vote, which is being held until 12 on Tuesday, October 31st, 2023. SSR Mages who ranked 1st through 10 will be eligible for, it says removal, but for banner, I'm guessing it means. This is a redraw gacha that has been powered up with a to commemorate the half anniversary, with a chance to draw 2 SSR mages depending on the probability. So what that's supposed to like fully translate to is you summon on this banner and no longer are you limited to just 1 SSR guaranteed. You have a chance to get 5 SSRs, 6 SSRs, how many ever SSRs, you know, the game is willing to give you. And those extra SSRs can be characters now. They don't just have to be SSR skill pages, which is gonna high key increase your chances of getting a lot of SSRs a lot higher. Because with just getting SSR mage and then skill pages, it's like there's a whole pool that you can't get SSR, right? Once you get that first mage, that eliminates SSRs from being a chance of, or an SSR mage of you getting a chance. Oh my goodness. Once you get that SSR in the multi, which the SSR is guaranteed, the mage, that instantly takes away your chances of summoning another SSR mage. Then you're only getting skill pages. But now with the opportunity of you getting mages and skill pages extra as an additional, then that means that you have higher chances to pull a lot more SSRs in the multi. And probably what I'm going to be doing for this personally is I'm going to do my first summon. Obviously you have to save it. I'm going to save the first summon, and then I'm going to do all 999 summons until I get to the character set that I want, until I get to all the characters that I want, right? Whether I get what I'm shooting for is 6 SSRs. That's what I'm hoping to get, like 6. That's where I'm just kind of like, okay bro, like I'm absolutely okay to take this. Yo, and by the way, guys, I have been learning Japanese. I'm sorry, this is so random, but this right here says ri. This right here says o. This says shi. This says mi. So I know some of the kanji, and soon enough, the dead man will know enough kanji to start to be able to read the information in the game. Or that's not even kanji, that's hiragana. I'm sorry, that's a very basic alphabet. But you know, I'm working on it so that whenever new information drops, we don't have to wait on anybody to translate anything. I can just read it right there live as soon as we get the information. But I'm probably going to be re-rolling all 999 of my rolls, just because I know my luck. I know how crazy my luck can be, and I want to see how hard I can maximize my luck by actually putting in the effort and actually going through all 999 of those re-rolls, because that's what I had planned to do whenever Julius came out. But I just kind of like gave up on that because I was just like, oh, I got a dupe for this character that I needed, and I got these 2 skill pages already. And instead of saving them, I just kind of took them instead, when I could have definitely went and kept going and saw what my chances were of getting something even crazier. But this banner is no exception, no excuse. Like, I have to do all 999. Like, bro, whenever the half anniversary comes out, literally, I want people to hop into my chat and say 999, and I will literally just break away from what I'm doing, or if I'm auto battling, I'll let the auto battle finish, and after the auto battle, we would just have a session of me going and doing, you know, rerolls multis. Because even though it's the same multi over and over and over again, it's still like I'm doing a bunch of summons, and I wouldn't even be too upset because I don't even need most of the mages in the game now, right? But it's still a matter of seeing what chance gives me, what fate dictates for me, you know, what success does it want to hand me. And just a few more things. There's definitely going to be an event, you know, there's going to be a bunch of little light campaigns going on. Like, they already have changed the game in a way where they are giving us stamina every day, which is very good, so that we can continue to play a lot of different game modes. They definitely need to add new game modes in for us, and I feel like the half anniversary they're going to lock in. I hope they lock in and they can get us special episodes back, because special episodes had really good rewards. You had rewards for doing them in the first place, you had rewards for getting to a certain ranking, and then when the whole thing was like done, you know, there were rewards comparative to other people. So special episodes are really good, plus special episodes are in the achievement section of the game, and I need to get all my achievements done. So Vic Gaming, go ahead and do the right thing for the half anniversary. Go ahead and put special events back into the game. Another thing, I do think personally, for the half anniversary, since you are celebrating people playing your game continually for 6 months, you need to make this celebration in a way where people can really play your game for that entire celebration's duration. So what I feel is that we need to have half stamina, double money, and double or not double affinity. That would be insane. Increased affinity whenever you're farming, because we know that there are going to be new characters to drop during the half anniversary, and you know, instead of wasting your materials, I feel like you should just go farm them in the affinity dungeons. So they just need to make the game more playable for us during that period, because if they're going to be implementing a bunch of content that's going to be super fun to just like run through over and over again, you know, I need to be able to play that. Like, free to play players need to be able to play that. We all need to be able to play that without spending any money. And also, now that I think about it, that event that we got for the beach campaign when we got season 3, that campaign was pretty cool. I'm not gonna speak like too much on it, but like, it was a super cool campaign. You know, it was a nice little extra set of things for us to do in the game. It had extra missions. It literally gave us extra levels. It had weird enemies. So, you know, they put a lot of work into that. And honestly, there were so many extra rewards that we had gotten from that. I just feel like I'm just curious. I'm baffled as to why we don't get more things like that. But we definitely need a little campaign, something like that. Also, we need to get the special episodes in. Half stamina. Like, I can understand maybe you don't want to do the double money and the half stamina and the boosted affinity all at one time, even though you kind of did that before. But like, at bar none, bare minimum, we absolutely need half stamina. It makes so much sense. It's the half anniversary of the game. Cut the stamina in half so we can play the game 2 times, and we can make it 2 times as far and make it to the anniversary. And I know that was stupid math, but it's real though. You know, that makes sense, right? Make the game more playable for us, and they are doing a very good job of that. The next point that I want to touch on is just like the future of the game. And when I say the future of the game, you know, not even how the game will just evolve, like that is incorporated into what I'm going to be talking about here, but more so just like, how do I think the game will be doing, you know, coming up pretty soon here. Now, I feel like Vic Gaming absolutely sold the bag by sitting on Black Clover Mobile for so long, the global version. And you know, when they first announced this version of the game, it took forever for them to finally get it out. And now that it's out, I feel like they had a lot of ideas. They were trying to be very ambitious at first, and you know, some of it received praises, some of it received backlash, and now they're just trying to weed out what's a good idea, what's a bad idea from what the player base says. And I feel like they absolutely screwed the pooch on waiting so long to release the global version of the game. But you know what? Beggars cannot be choosers. We are here, and the game is dropping November 30th. That is in 17 days for me. If you're watching this right now, it could be even sooner than that. But yes, the global version of the game is finally dropping, and I do plan to play that version of the game, free to play. And I will be joining somebody's guild. Content creators are built together, band together, and make a guild. Who knows? Basically, I feel that the half anniversary is very good because this is a time for them to implement things into the game, and the first anniversary is going to definitely implement newer things into the game. And also, I just want to talk about a few specific ideas. So I made a video a very long time ago talking about how they could do like a demonic beast battle kind of like thing in Grand Cross, but in Black Clover. And instead of it being like them making a whole extra side expansion story to BCM, it's just kind of like a part of the game's main continuity, right? And this obviously will be very down the road in the game, but I believe in Black Clover Mobile. I believe that the game can make it that far, so I will go ahead and suggest this, right? I feel that once we get to the Heart Kingdom, you know, first of all, we'll learn Mana Method there. Mana Method would essentially be like Extreme Z Awakening in Dokkan, right? Mana Method would essentially let you get your spells to 1 level higher, and definitely they need to change the material. So I feel like with how in Grand Cross, you get a character to 6 stars, and then afterwards you have to get the red stars, and the red stars just require a sweatier material, but low-key a material that's easier to get. I think that they should do something similar to that in Black Clover, because it would suck for you to get your skill to level 5 and then just have to use more of the same material to get to level 6. So level 6 is supposed to be something so special. Instead, maybe you can use like skill pages or something like that, right? Maybe you can stack up like the same way you can stack a bunch of coins to get a mage or to get a character in Grand Cross stars up to red. You can stack a bunch of skill pages, like a bunch of shitty skill pages, and get your mages skill up to red. And honestly, I feel like I would rather have skill pages than mages themselves, like mage pieces, because there are 4 skills per character. That'll burn through a lot of your resources really quickly, and skill pages are not as important as the actual like crystals themselves. The crystals get you so much in the shop. But I feel like they could make skills go up to like level 6 and make them you know, different, like add a new effect onto them, increase the damage multiplier by like 10 or 20% instead of just 5%. You know, if it's like a buff, you know, increase it like drastically and add a secondary like buff onto that. They're definitely going to do like some form of system that's similar to engravement for gear. And you just kind of like link your gear to specific mage, and you get the proof is like in the pudding that they're going to do that, because one of the latest updates that they did for the game, if you come over to gear, you can actually pin a gear set to a mage now. I've never pinned a gear set, and honestly this is why, because it just looks like a lot of extra work to do right now, and I don't feel like doing it right now. But yes, you can literally pin gear sets to specific mages already. So when you pin those gear sets to them, you know, all they got to do is engrave it, and then all of a sudden your mage already has this like engraved gear set pinned to them, right? They're already trying to get you to build gear in a way that but that influences you to leave a certain gear set stuck to a certain character. So engravement will definitely be here. And also, I know people complain about my 4-piece, 2-piece method because there's a few open spots on this grid right now, but I genuinely do feel that whenever we do get like higher awakening, like imagine we get like LR plus or something like that, and the level cap is broken from level 100 to level 150, and they add a few more squares in this, right? They add like a little like extra corner right here or something like that. You can add like a few more pieces right here, and then all of a sudden, instead of like doing 2-piece, 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 you can do 2-piece, 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 or 2-piece, or whatever, or you can do like 2 4-piece sets. I just like the fact that I get an extra buff, like passive buff, from the 4-piece sets. I will always take passives over like flat stats, raw stat numbers. So that's just kind of like my whole deal. But I do feel like they could increase the grid right here and let you fit in more gear pieces, because if they weren't going to do that, why do we have, like, even if you do 2-piece, 2-piece, 2-piece set, right? Why would we even have that if we couldn't, you know, we have triple 2-piece sets, and it takes up this spot, and this spot, showing that you have 3 different effects. Why do we even have a 4th spot then? Things that are put into games early on, it's not like just because they're not used at the time, they just completely forgot about it, they're just not going to do anything with it. No, it's more so a fact of they are planning to do something with that in the future. And if you pay close attention to some of the things that they do already, then you can kind of start to pick up on what they're going to start trying to do. Now, I don't know if they're going to be increasing the gear and making it so that you can do either like 2 4-piece sets, but if they do that, Deadman was here first, Deadman knew it. But if they don't do that, then I mean nothing on my name, right? Also, not only could they boost your skills, they could make it so that you, well, I feel like there's definitely going to be eventually a system where we have to do stars over the stars right here, and, you know, fill the stars out with like red stars, black stars, whatever kind of stars you want to, right? But there's definitely going to be a system where we have to fill the stars over again, because the first way is with duplicates, but there has to be a way to make it so that you can work on the second set of stars without having to get all the duplicates for that mage, because that would suck for free-to-play players to be barred out from extra stats that they could be getting from natural progression of the game without getting, you know, without summoning the new character. That would suck for them to be blocked out from that. So I do think that we will get a system like that, though, or maybe a system where we increase. What if you had to fill out the Clover petal again, which would suck, yes, but you fill out the Clover petal again and then you unlock a second set of stars or something like that. I don't know if I really like that idea, but I'm trying to think of ideas that can help free-to-play players to still progress the same way that sweats do, just not as fast, you know? Because if you're not a sweat, you're not gonna get up that fast unless you're just like God tier luck and everything just works in your favor all the time. But that is not anybody's life. So yeah, what else for the future of the game? I feel like skill pages will definitely get like some sort of like awakening type of system as well. My skill pages are here right now. You can see that not all of them, but some of them are 4 stars, some of them are 5 stars, some of them are 4 star. I have like a bunch of extra ones just sitting at the top of the page here, just in case I need to, you know, do what I need to do and get a certain skill page maxed out instantly from right after like getting it right. But I feel like we could see something where we get more stars over the stars that are already on a skill page, or maybe they give like, maybe there's like a last final upgrade you can do that just changes all the stars to a different color, and you know, that awakens an even crazier passive for the skill page or something like that. So more so my idea is them, you know, boosting everything like just that one extra level and really making a crazy change for it when they boosted that one level. And also what I was saying earlier about boosting the level cap from 100 to 150, that'd be really great because that would give extra characters like even more stats. That's just the easy way to give characters more stats in the future. Like honestly, level 100 is not the end all be all for this game. Eventually we're going to be able to get to like level 200, maybe 250, who knows, right? I could imagine it, I could see it. And man, when that finally comes into the game, the amount of experience potions you're going to have to farm are going to be so egregious, but it'll be fine either way. Another thing that I want to see in the future of BCM, I do want to see updates to this shop right here. This shop right here is where you go to convert materials into lower or higher versions of itself, and I want to see the substat upgrade materials added in here so that we can fuse them up into bigger materials and get higher stat rolls whenever we're trying to change the stat rolls on our gear. Obviously they need to add the blue crystals in here that allow you to change your substats so that we can get the higher crystals that allow you to change substats but lock 1 in place or lock 2 substats in place, so that we're only changing 2, so we can get 2 substats, so we can roll initially, get 2 substats that we do like, lock those 2 in place, and then just start rolling for the other 2. Also, another thing that I need to be put into here is the skill upgrade material, because I remember at the start of the game I had like an overabundance in the medium material, because you always need the small material to start it off, you always need the large material in great quantities to finish it off. So you know, you start to accumulate a very high number of the UR materials, and it got to a point where I had like so many of those, and I just wished and wished that I could trade those or convert those into like the bigger ones and the smaller ones even, because the smaller ones you run out of the fastest because you need them for every single level of skill growth. The purple ones you run out of the second fastest because they are so expensive and hard to get to, and the UR ones you just kind of sitting there with a bunch of them on hand like most of the damn time, unless you're working on all of your skills non-stop, and you just have like quite a few of them, and the other 2 are just empty. But yeah, this little section right here definitely needs to be upgraded. Oh, and how can I forget the biggest thing? They need to make it so that you can convert experience potions in here, because bruh, if I could this isn't a lot of potions. Well, you know, I say this isn't a lot of potions, and honestly for personal experience it really isn't. Like the 406 LR potions, that may be a little impressive, but the 475 UR potions, that ain't shit. The 668 SSR potions, that ain't shit, right? If I could convert all of these materials up into the highest level experience potion, that would be best. That would be ideal for me, I feel like. And these are the little substat materials I was talking about, being able to fuse these up into a better material as well, so that we can roll better substats. But yeah, and honestly, let us convert these up into the higher versions as well too, because we need more ways to get things like that. But that's I guess more so. Oh, and you know, the last thing I want to say about future of the game before I switch points. The game was doing okay in Japan, like it's still afloat, you know, it's still going, right, on just with the Japanese server, and I don't know why people try to go on to Twitter and compare its metrics to Grand Cross, a game that has been out for like 5 years now, that has had 5 years to accumulate a player base. Like literally Black Clover is still not even a year old. There are still a lot of people just kind of like testing it out, believe it or not. Yes, it's nearly 6 months old now, but there are still people jumping in and testing it out and doing whatever in it, right? And you know, Black Clover is a fresh game, it's a good idea, it's a good IP. And the thing about Black Clover is, I feel like it's like well received in Japan, but like around the world, it's a lot better received, right? I remember there was like either a year ago or 2 years ago, Black Clover was like the top anime in like 83 countries. Let's see. Let me look it up so I can give you actual specifics. In November 2019, Crunchyroll listed Black Clover in their top 100 best anime of the 2010s. In January 2021, it was revealed that Black Clover was the most watched anime series on Crunchyroll in 2020, being watched in 87 countries and territories all over the world. So there's obviously way more countries than that over the world, but it's just like, you gotta think about the whole world, like perspective, whole world versus Japan. Japan is one country, and then you have the rest of the entire world, right? And Black Clover is well received and you know, so many different places. And English is a lot more universal of a language than Japanese, or at least from my experience it is. A lot of people who come to America, they learn English, right? English isn't that bad. It's not that hard. It can be stupid sometimes, but it's not that hard, right? Japanese is a little bit more difficult of a language to learn, I feel like. And, you know, everybody around the world doesn't just... I feel like there's a lower chance of just random people around the world speaking Japanese than there is of them speaking English. So... the fact that Black Clover is received so well on a global audience means that a lot of the money that the game will be getting is going to be from the global side. So this is kind of like why it was very painful to watch Big Gaming shoot itself in the foot month after month after month after month until they finally decided to release the game, because it's just like, I understand wanting to fix the game to a certain point where there's no issues for anybody, and you know, the perfectionist mindset. The perfectionist mindset will give you some of the best work you've ever produced. But the issue is that the work that you produce did not come in a time-efficient manner, and it could have been perfected even more so if you would have just put it out in the first place. Let what happened happen. You know, take the hits to the chin and then pivot from that point on. Life's not about the decisions you make, but the way you deal with the consequences, right? So stop making all these decisions to hold the game back over and over again just to fix this, just to tweak that, just to tweak this. Like, bro, a lot of the issues that people have, I'm not saying it's just because of the Japanese version, but I feel like people wouldn't even be as angry about it if they, you know, could at least read everything that was going on. And also, bro, for all the people who complain about the global version of Black Clover Mobile on Twitter, I understand. They did push it back time and time and time and time again. But at the end of the day, you are not that company. You are not the developer. And if you are an app developer, this message is not for you. But since you are not the app developer, you cannot be angry with people for taking more time on something that you don't even understand how to do yourself. The game was still going to come out. Thank goodness it finally is. But at the end of the day, who are we to judge their kind of process, you know? It's like, we are upset about the game not being out, but if you really, 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 really deep down in your heart wanted to play the game, bro, if you wanted to play it that bad, beggars cannot be choosers. This version of the game was open right here, available to you this entire time. Yet people wanted to wait around for the global version and say, oh, where's global? Where's global? They need to stop doing this and release global. They were working on it, and you had an opportunity to play. End of discussion. Beggars cannot be choosers, but at least we're getting it now. And honestly, it's like, the game has so many, for all those people who are upset about all the tweaks they've made to the game and the amount of black crystals that we don't get anymore, you know, during certain months or during the month, right? We just lose out on some black crystals. You got to understand what comes with that. What is the payoff for that? Yes, they give us less black crystals, but the game is easier to grind. They literally lower difficulty on stages. They literally buff mages all the damn time. They literally have implemented a way to give us stamina throughout the day, like all day now, so we can keep playing. They're literally changing story tickets into Hall of Memory tickets so that you can just do the story non-stop to your heart's content. There's still a bunch of free-to-play content within the game that you can still get, you know? There's some of the stuff is like beaten already, and at this point, like, it's definitely beaten on like everybody's account, unless you are brand new, right? Like the affinity missions in chapter 1, you know? You probably have all those beat at this point, sure. Maybe even chapter 2, maybe even chapter 3. But they still have free-to-play ways for you to get a hold of black crystals. So I just don't understand what the issue is. Gacha games are not all about summoning. Gacha games, so Black Clover for me is about summoning, because I play like a collector. I want to collect everything in the game. I want to have all the options available to me all the time. I do not care, right? But free-to-play players do not come in with that mindset, because they can't. They can't come with that mindset, or they're just gonna have a bad time the entire way through. So, you know, free-to-play players are thinking about efficiency. Like, okay, I need to get this character because this character can do these things over all these different contents, and this will help me boost my account that much. That when I used to actually do should you summon videos and do, you know, oh, how is this character type of video. You know, that was all for a perspective of somebody who grinds the game non-stop, which should be a free-to-play player's perspective, because to get up to a certain level, you're going to be grinding the game non-stop for a little bit anyway. And I'm going to be doing the top 10 kind of like list of things that I feel like you should be doing as a free-to-play player, or even as a sweat, as soon as the game just drops. Like, I think about things on all levels so that I can give information to anybody on all levels. And even though I'm not a free-to-play player, you know, I still grind like a free-to-play player. So I understand, you know, like, bro, if I wanted to, I could just buy black crystals non-stop, and I could just pay black crystals to fill out all of the characters' talent circles, but that's super expensive. So instead, what am I thinking to do? I'm thinking to go into the game and play like a free-to-play player, spin like a crack, and play like a free-to-play. So I'm deciding to go into the game and actually grind out everything. And yes, farming talents has taken a few of my brain cells down with it, and it has taken such a tedious amount of time, but at the end of the day, I'm better for it because I understand the grind now. I understand teams that work for that grind, and also once you grinded something on the extent that I have grinded it, you grind certain other things in the future, and it's just kind of like effortless to you. You're just kind of like, yeah, it's whatever. I gotta grind this, but I can do that real quick, boom. Or maybe you have some skip tickets. I can skip that real quick, boom, boom, boom. Oh, another thing I didn't think about with the future of Black Clover, in my last point, they definitely need to add more stages that we can skip ticket. We need to be able to skip ticket gear because the drop rates in gear is so ass. We need to be able to skip ticket talents because honestly, we need to be able to skip ticket everything. I don't even know why we can't skip ticket everything. That's so dumb to me. I mean, it's not dumb. I understand why we can't skip ticket some things. It's because there is a bit of a learning curve in Black Clover. You know, you want to be very specific about the mages that you put in your team, that you try to be content with, and by not allowing you to skip stages that are very crucial to your character growth, it makes you learn how to build a team, how to compose a team to fight against certain like enemies. So that is why you cannot skip ticket every stage, guys. That is the secret. But the game is to a point now where I feel like everything should be skip ticketable, and they said that they're thinking about just gradually adding in more skip ticket stages, and honestly I think that's fucking useless. They just need to go ahead and let us skip ticket everything at this point. The game's been out long enough. There are going to be new players, but honestly the skip tickets will help the new players because it's just like, yo, people don't play gacha games to grind. People play gacha games to beat hard content and summon, bro. And I just understand that the game needs to get to a place where it needs to get to, you know? So I am down to do the grind. But when free-to-play players come in, it turns them off and they have to grind so hard. Because I can't lie, the grind is a little treacherous, but like there is another side to it though. There is the end to the grinding. Not really, but you can make it, you can simulate it in for yourself. Right now I have more experience potions and I already have all my characters level 100. The next few characters that drop, I don't know, because two mages I can definitely get to level 100. 2 SSRs, but like all the new rare and SR mages that might be coming out, right? They probably will need. I'll probably be able to get 2 of them to LR 100, and then the last one will just require me to do a little bit more farming. But honestly, it's like they drop like a very few characters in the month, so it's just like they drop those few characters in the month, and then I'm just over here, you know, grinding up the materials that I just expended on them for the rest of the month, and I'm already ready for the next month. I'm ready plus in the next month because I started that, because usually when a banner drops, like, I get the characters like day 1, so that I just already have them, so I can already work on them as fast as possible. Also, I think it's very good that they changed the weekly, monthly, and daily missions, or not even the daily missions. The daily missions are still the same, but the weekly and monthly missions is very good that they changed them, because at a certain point, I remember one of the missions was to UR a character, and since I had every character level 100 in the game, they must have been watching my videos and watching all my showcases. They must have saw that and just been like, oh shit, he already has all the characters LR. He can't even get a character to UR anymore. You know, they saw that and they're like, you know what, Deadman, we'll help you out, because who else has all their mages LR in the game right now? Let me know. Like, if there's another content creator who does, like, please send them to me, because they are cut from a different cloth, and I want to get in touch with them. But you know, if there's not another content creator who has done what I've done, then where's the inspiration for it? Like, how many? Yes, it can be expensive to get the materials you need to get mages to UR, but even still though, it's something that's like natural progression in the game. So I don't know, but still, and I guess I'm just trying to hype myself up and say that Vic Gaming watches my videos, even though I know that they'll never admit they do, because they're too cool for that, and I'm too cool to act like I care, right? But basically, the grind never ends, and even though it never ends, that's okay, because you can at least get it to a point where it feels like it's ended for a little bit. You can get to a point where you can be comfortable for a little bit. And the only reason why I'm comfortable for a little bit is because there's still other things that I still need to farm to even get my characters to a certain point right now. Once all those things are farmed up and I'm not worried about getting those extra, you know, resources, then I'm literally just farming surplus overflow materials. But you know, I'm already there with experience potions. That one's the easiest, that one's the most basic, the freest thing that you can farm. Eventually it'll be that way with talents, and then eventually it'll be that way with gear, and I can't wait for it to be that way with gear, because you know, I'm ready to just do so much and just build so many different gear sets and just test so many things out with so many different mages. Now I want to talk about the content space. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of Black Clover mobile content creators dropped off like flies, and you know, there's also just a whole sector of creators who made a lot of money on other games, who already have a lot of money on YouTube, and then they went and tried to make content for Black Clover just for money. You can tell it was just for money because they got irritated whenever something didn't work out for them, right? And now they're just nowhere to be seen. And guys, don't let these people fool you, because they're going to come back as soon as Global drops. They're going to try to act like they were there the entire time, but there are some true, like, genuine core game players, some genuine Black Clover mobile like fans, players that are still playing to this day, that have been playing since day one. I'm one of them, dude. I've been playing JP literally every single day since the game has come out. I literally used to have a KR account, but then I sold the iPad that the KR account was on, and yes, I could just get back to the KR account by emulator or another device that I have, because I have so many, but I don't even want to bother working on the KR account, because I feel like if I'm playing a second account, it might as well be something that I can just like read easily, navigate through easily. And it's like, I've done enough in this game to know where to navigate, but it's just like every time a new event comes out or something like that, I'm just in two different versions trying to read the same thing, and it's just like two different languages. It's just a lot, and I'm learning Japanese right now anyway, so I'll just stick to the Japanese version. Plus, everybody thought that the KR version was going to be released stuff like 3 hours earlier than the Japanese version, and that's not even the case. But I will say that the KR forum is still 1 billion times better than the JP forum. They give you infographics, they give you little pictures. Pictures always engage people a lot more than just words, and you know, the words on the Japanese forum just look like a bunch of script run on, but it's besides the point. That's not really that big of a deal. It's not really that important. But yeah, man, I'm not saying don't watch them, because you know, some of the big content creators could be fans of Black Clover, but bro, a lot of the content creators that are hopping into the Black Clover space, man, I've already watched their videos, and I can't recall a time that they've talked about loving Black Clover or anything. You know, every now and then they're like, oh yeah, they should do a Black Clover game like this, right? They say that, but it's just like, you know, I feel like you're just saying, oh, this is an anime and gacha games are fun, they should make a gacha game based off of this anime, because there's not one yet. That's more so what they're saying, right? They're not saying I'm a big fan of Black Clover and I want to see it succeed, I want to see it eat in a gacha game as format, so they need to do that. No. So there are going to be people who play the game who are going to quit, and like, games shutting down, while yes, it is definitely mainly on the developers to keep the game interesting for people, games shutting down are definitely a self-fulfilling prophecy in the content space, because if somebody who's huge makes a video saying like the game is dead, then everybody's going to be sheep. Everybody's going to, you know, groupthink and be like, oh no, the game is dead. They're gonna start looking at all the things and start to hate all the things that you brought up in your video. But then you have people like me who have the glass half full. The game is not dead. There's just a lot of grinding right now, because the game isn't going to be dead at a certain point in the future, and they want to make sure that you are properly up for that. When Black Clover, the series, started, it wasn't just non-stop battle crazy action all the time in the first few episodes. No, they had to build up to that point first. So like, that's where we're at right now. We are building up to that point. And yes, you know, we've already had some hype releases, we already have some hype characters and everything, and you know, working on those characters is fun. You know, it's like, it takes long, yes, but you feel so rewarded after you work on those mages, because you're just like, okay bro, they're level 100, they are LR, and like this is one of the games that I like about, this is one of the things I like about this game, and Grand Cross even, the fact that you can get all of your characters, no matter their base rarity, all the way up to the highest level. That's one thing that kills me in Dokkan, and even One Piece Treasure Cruise. Every mage you get, or every character you get, every unit you get, every pirate you get, you cannot boost them all the way up to the highest rarity. You cannot get every character in One Piece Treasure Cruise to 6+. You cannot get every single character, every unit in Dokkan up to LR just from their base rarity. Only a select few. With Black Clover, everybody has a chance to be useful in some way, shape, or form, because you can get them to LR, you can get them to level 100 to kind of like bolster their stats a bit. And honestly, I just feel like Black Clover went underappreciated. The thing is, a lot of content creators started playing this game, and there's a thing, right? Gacha games are very similar in their play style. The formula is the same. Grind, 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 get summon currency, summon, 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 and get new character, grind, grind, grind. It's just a cycle over and over and over again. And then, you know, hard content drops. Beat this hard content, do these little challenges, blah, 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 right? Things like that are in every gacha game. And I feel like people came from other gacha games and they were already so deep in those gacha games like Lineage that this was just too slow for them. And it's just like, yo, slow, I guess slow is the right word. Too slow for them, right? I'm just like, bro, there ain't nothing slow about it. Like, people, I'm just trying to figure out, how do people say Black Clover is a dead game when I stream that shit nearly every fucking day? And I have people in my chat, like, grinding the game alongside with me. There are literally ongoing events in the game. How is the game dead, literally, and the game is still going right now? Y'all be looking at the numbers and y'all be thinking about the numbers too hard, bro. This is a project, I just feel it. This is a project of like passion, right? And the people who are working behind it really care, but at the same time, they can be really shitty in some aspects. But they still care though, because the game has had months where it's had bad like revenue and it's still going. They're already going to their half anniversary. Like, bro, companies have a thing to think about. The thing that they have to think about is, when we drop this, there is a chance we don't get the money that we were expecting to get from this, so we must have backup funds ready to pivot as much as we need to. So they had pivot money, right? They are pivoting right now and trying to make the game a better experience for people, because people are saying things like it's a dead game, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. But it's just like, how is it a dead game? How is it a dead game and I still stream every day, I still play the game every day, and I'm still not done with what I'm trying to fucking do? This game isn't dead. Your perception of the game is dead. You don't want to grind because you're so used to your other gacha game where you were already built out to a certain point, and it's like, yeah, I hate grinding. But like, bro, think about real life for a second. In real life, you don't just become rich unless you're born rich. If you want to become rich, and I'm sorry, wealthy, if you want to become wealthy, you have to, put in the learning. If you're not smart enough, you have to put in the learning to learn how to acquire wealth, generational wealth, and keep that going for you, and obtain a mentality of somebody who, even if everything was taken from you, you could go and just acquire it all again in a bigger and better way, right? But two, like, it literally takes time to like grind up your money and everything. You gotta save. It's like you can't just save 20 bucks. Now 20 bucks just multiplies into $1 million for you. Like, no, there's a lot of extra work and a lot of extra steps to it. This game is similar to real life. You have to grind, grind, grind. You get a lot of money in this game, or so it seems, and you have to work on everything, you know, and that's the same thing in real life. You get paychecks from your job, and all of a sudden, you know, you have big money. You're chilling. You're the guy of town. Then, you know, you have to fill in gas for the week, or the next 2 weeks, because some jobs are bi-weekly, some jobs are weekly. You have to fill up gas in your car. You have to pay your insurance for your car. If you have a house, you have to pay your mortgage. If you're renting, you have to pay your rent, renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance. There's just all kinds of things in life draining your money non-stop. So instead of crying about it, what do? You evolve. You make more money. You make things work for you. That is the point of Black Clover. You have to make the grinding work for you. Stop grinding gear all day and then crying and saying that this is a bad game. No, you grind things that are guaranteed, that get you growth that you need, bars, in your account, and then you move on to the next thing. If you're gonna farm something day in and day out that makes you feel like shit, you're just gonna feel like shit. You're gonna think the game is shit. You're gonna turn the game off. But if you can be smarter about your farming and actually get things that will guarantee to give you growth, then the game will feel a lot funner to play, feel a lot better to play. You will accomplish more. That is just how life works. The more that you feel like you are successful at something, the more likely you are to continue to do it, because that feeling makes you feel good, right? There are things that make us feel good in life that aren't good for us, but then there are things that feel good in life that are good for us. And one of those things, like, think about going to the gym and working out. Working out at the gym feels bad at first, but then you feel good because you're just like, yo, I really came in here, I really knocked it out, I really did what I needed to do. Same thing in this. Literally, you pull up in the game, you grind, 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 you get what you need done, and I have a whole chart with talents and everything, right? I'm working on talents right now, and I keep a chart, and I fill it in every time I get another character up, and like, literally every time I fill in a part of the chart for a character that's done, you know, that gives me more motivation to keep on going and going, and then, you know, I look over the entire list, and I'm just like, well, dang, I'm over halfway done, I might as well finish now. It's like, you can't deny your growth when you put your growth in your face. That sounded weird, but you cannot deny your growth when it's literally like sitting there and you're seeing it, right? There are 69 mages in the game, and I have gotten all the talents maxed out on 40 plus of them, right? And I can't deny that fact. When I look at that in that document on Google, that just shows me, that just reminds me like, yo, I've literally already put in the time for this. I might as well go ahead and finish up and put in the rest of the time to finish this off, bro. Like, it's a no-brainer. Why did I even put in all this time in the first place if I wasn't going to finish? You know what I'm saying? You don't force yourself to grind, but it's just like you put yourself in a mind state where you want to grind. That is how you do it. But the content space, I feel like we got some very good people in the content space. You know, I'm not gonna name names just because I feel like if I name some people and I don't name other people are gonna be fucking upset, and like no one really cares, but it's like politics, we'll skip over it. But there are good content creators in the gacha space. You just gotta find them. You can't just look at the thumbnail and everything, you know. Actually go into their video, pay attention to what they're saying, and feel the vibes off of it. You can tell when somebody really cares about something, and you can tell when they don't care about something at all when they're talking about it. Even if you can't see their face or their expression, you can just hear the energy in their voice. You can feel how sporadic they are in their like words and what they're saying whenever they're talking about something. Just don't judge a book by its cover. Definitely go and check out every video that you see for Black Clover Mobile if you want to get blessed with some knowledge, man, because there's a lot of different metas, there's a lot of different aspects to the game, and a lot of different people can teach you a lot of different things. That's one thing that I had to learn. I wanted to be like the Black Clover encyclopedia and know every single thing and be the only guy on the internet who knew every single thing about Black Clover. But it's just like, that's just, you know, that comes with time, right? That's not a as soon as the game drops you know type of thing. Even if you already did the beta, no. Things change from beta to the actual launch, and then, you know, even from launch, since things change, you have a lot of new things to learn, and you have a lot of old things to relearn, right? So it's a similar concept for different gacha games, but at the end of the day, it still is a different individual like gacha game, and that is the point of a community. There are good Black Clover content creators out there. I will be honest. Like, at first, I used to just watch myself because, you know, I mean, I have every character in the game. I work on every character in the game. I have every skill page. So it's like I kind of trust my own word, you know. I can trust my own word. But, you know, every now and then I'll go and take a look and take a gander at other content creators, and there are definitely other content creators out there who know what they're talking about. But it is up to you as the viewer to decipher them, to view their videos and figure out what they're really saying and figure out if they really know what they're talking about. But the content space is not in a bad spot. There are going to be some people who try to come in just for the money, who don't care at all, but, you know, ignore that. Don't put those people in a position of power in a platform they have no business talking about, because then a bunch of misspeaking is going to happen for the game, and that's not going to be good for the publicity of the game in the future of the game, right? Now, let's talk about the future of my channel here. The future of my channel is looking like more Black Clover, right? Now that the global version's coming out, we're gonna do content on the global version as well. We're finally gonna be able to hit videos from a free-to-play perspective for real, because I'm just gonna be, and I was already doing that on the KR version, but the KR version I kind of just threw that one off to the side because the Japanese version was taking up so much of my time. But now we're in a good position. There's like a I guess a double-edged blade to the fact that global is coming out so much later than the original version. One, the original version of the game, I have it grinded up to a point now where I actually have the time to leave it on auto battle and just go and do things on global. But two, it sucks though, because one of the things about Dokkan that really sucks is JP Dokkan was 6 months ahead of global Dokkan, and every time a character drops, a unit drops in JP Dokkan, you're so hyped for it as a global player. And if you're playing global, you're just, all right, I gotta save for that. And then you literally get to a point where that character drops, and then you're just like, yo, I saved for this. And honestly, it's 6 months, it's the next 6 fucking months. And Dokkan has another character that's literally better than this character, that'll replace this character, and like time and time again that cycle just happens time and time again, and all of a sudden you're just burned out because you don't even care anymore. You're just like, yo, I know that by the time this character comes out, I'm gonna want to get this character, but this character is gonna be not ass, but like, and honestly, some units do have fast expiration days. Some other units are ass by the time they finally come out on global, or ass in JP by the time they come out in global, and then you're just kind of like, why would I even work them if they're gonna get a hard counter like this at this point in the game, right? But I do think that Bit Gaming will work to sync the games back up But yes, more about my channel. We will be doing more Black Clover Mobile streams. We will be working to get more videos out. Also, I want to keep this podcast kind of like a regular thing, at least like anywhere from 1 to 3 times a month that I do it, right? I want to start to hit these podcasts because podcasts are cool. And also, you know, if other content creators see this podcast and some of the stuff that I say with you resonates, or honestly some of the stuff with you that I say doesn't resonate, you guys just want to talk to me person to person, you know, we can hop in Discord, we can hit another podcast, bro. It's whatever. I don't like to be super exclusive with my platform. I like to be all inclusive with my platform. Anybody who is in the space that knows what they're talking about, I am willing to, you know, talk with you, bro. And honestly, even if you don't know what you're talking about, would you really want to be in a podcast anyway? Because, you know, at some point you're just going to get figured out for not knowing what you're talking about. And that's just is what it is. Also, I will be doing more Black Clover, kind of like topic, just in general type of videos, you know, talking about Black Clover, the story, maybe do a little chapter analysis here and there, because I know the story is in a weird place right now with the Jump Giga situation, and now it's a seasonal manga, and I don't think it'll be a seasonal manga forever. I would say maybe it's seasonal right now, we get the next chapter, it's still seasonal, and the next time we get another like chapter or set of chapters, then it'll go back to like regular, and he'll finish the story up, which is weird because I guess in a way this prolongs the story, but at the same time not really, because the story isn't growing anymore. But the caveat to it is that when we hit next year, because now we're on the 9th year, in February of 2024, we would now be on the 9th year that Black Clover has been out, the anime, right? Is that the 9th year anniversary? Or no, am I thinking of the manga? But anyway, it's going to be like the anniversary in February. And we have not had an anniversary yet where the game has been out, because the game was not out February this year. So that means that we could get very good rewards just based off of that situation alone. And typically in gacha games, you see things like celebrations for Christmas. We got one for Halloween. Halloween is a very like celebrated holiday, funny enough, right? So celebration for Christmas, for Halloween, for Thanksgiving, for what is it? It's for New Year's. There we go. New Year's is all. Those are all things that you get very big rewards on. And then there's Golden Week as well in Japan. So let's see what Golden Week has in store for Black Clover Mobile. But you know, there's Japanese holidays that I don't know that we could get a bunch of rewards for. And very excited, right? I don't think that the game really is in that bad of a space. Yes, some of the money was looking low in some months for the game, but like sometimes it's just not something to spend money for, and the game is very free to play, and they have to make their cutbacks now and make the game a little less free to play while it still is free to play, so that they can make more money and maintain the game, because they, I feel, had enough money to subsidize the Japanese version, and now that the global version is out, this is when they are expecting to start making their big money. And plus the global version of the game got funding for Ganera, like $24 million in the first place, right? So like the global version has had bread on it. There's been money into the company already. But 24 million ain't enough to make a game float for like years. It's maybe enough to make a game float for like a year, right? But yeah, man. Future of my channel is I plan to do more collabs, really. I plan to be more social, have more of a presence on social medias as well, because I understand that I can be somebody who doesn't really care for social media too much, and then sometimes I feel like I let that negate the growth that I could have because I don't care too much for social media. But the times change, and so do people. So I have to change and adapt and evolve and become somebody who is better at presenting myself in a global space in a marketable like sense, right? That's about all the points that I had, really, and I just want to reiterate and retouch on this point. 1, join the Void Dynasty, get in my Discord down below the video, linked, right? Get in my Discord, talk to me, see what's good, see how many spots I have left in my guild. We will get together and we will do some great things in here, get to higher levels, push past other guilds, because we are the mightiest Magic Knights. Anybody who comes and joins the guild is a brother, and we will be in touch if you want to join the guild. And also, guys, just remember, this is a podcast, man. This is my first podcast, just me kind of mouthing off. None of this stuff that I'm saying is for certain, end all be all, and none of it has to be something that you take seriously. You can take it with a grain of salt. You can do whatever you want with it, it's just me talking it out, and I thought it would be really cool to just have the first podcast out for Black Clover Mobile and just have a podcast out in general, because I feel like we're already to a point where there's a lot to talk about with the game, and you know, to many more podcasts and to many more years of Black Clover Mobile. But if you guys did enjoy that video, then you can go down and dark cloak here that subscribe button, and you can also Mario Leona Baka Blitz that like button as well, and you can comment down below and let me know what your thoughts on some of the things that I said, and also maybe go check out some of my theory videos. Those videos are pretty good too. This is not all a gaming channel. And also another thing, guys, I was going to make a separate YouTube for Bleach Soul Resonance whenever it dropped, but I might just play Bleach Soul Resonance on this channel, to be honest. That would be the easiest thing for me. Plus, you know, Bleach fans and Black Clover fans are not all necessarily the same, so I can pick up two different avenues of people. But that's going to be it for your boy, DEADMANVINCE. I hope you guys did enjoy this podcast. I will work on getting more people for joining the next one. But yeah, you guys have a good one. Peace out.